Hey guys, my name's Shue, and today we're going to be doing a little quick tutorial on removing halos in HDR. Now this photo is not by me, it's from a lifelong family friend by the name of Jerome Miron. He's out of Texas. He's mainly a sports photographer. He does awesome work with architecture, and you see this beautiful HDR image he did well with. And a common thing that happens with HDR is, since you're using so many different bracketed images, you end up with these halos. Now the halos that I'm talking about is that white or bright area around the edge of a building, maybe around that flag post, around these trees over here, down in the trees. Now this is a common problem with HDR, and since we know that highlights project and shadows recede, your eyes just go right to those bright areas, especially after you've looked at HDR for a while. Okay, so let me show you how to fix this. We're going to zoom in just a little bit so we can see what's going on here. And we're going to create a blank layer. Okay, and we're going to change this blank layer's blend mode to darken. I know it went above the screen, but you can see it's at darken. Now we're going to grab our clone stamp tool, and we're going to make sure that our sampled layers are going to be the current layer and below. Okay. Now what we're going to do, let me zoom in a little bit more here. We're working with a JPEG, so I'm above 100%. We're going to lose a bit of resolution here. So what we're going to do is we're going to deal with this area here. Since we're on darken, it's not going to cut into our building, but it will let us sample the sky. So we're going to hold down the Alt key, and that'll let us sample our area that we want to adjust, and we just come in and paint, and we're going to resample as we go down. And don't worry about if we're getting too dark in the cloud area around the outside of the building, because I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a second. Now the trick is you want to sample as you go. Okay, so maybe we need to get a little bit darker over here. Okay, and just get rid of that dark area around the building. Okay, I'm going to actually go into the building here and get rid of that white area that lives inside those little pedestals. I guess that may be called a cupola. Okay, so here we go. We're going to sample over here, and we're going to paint down this side. Okay, if you make a mistake, just hit Control Z or Command Z on a Mac and back up. We're going to sample again right here. And the idea is we're just going to get rid of that area that is bright. Now as you can see that I'm starting to build up a little bit of darkness around the building. And don't worry about that right now. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay, so we're going to paint around this flagpole here a little bit. Alright. Maybe just come up here and hit this one more time. And again, like I said, don't worry about it being dark right there. So we're going to look for any other areas we see. It's a little bit light down there, but that's okay. It's a good gradient. Around these trees is pretty good. It looks like he's got a sensor dirt spot there too. We could fix that. It's no problem. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and sample in here. We're going to paint in these trees. And remember, don't worry about how dark it is right there, because you can see there's a distinct line above it. Okay, because that doesn't mean anything. So we're going to sample up here a little bit lighter area, and we're just going to paint into this tree area where those little white dots are. Okay. Okay, so this is how you would deal with it. Now let's go ahead and finish off this image. What we're going to do is we're going to select that layer, and we're going to hold down the Alt key, and that's the Option key on the Mac. We're going to click our layer mask, and that's going to hide anything we've done to the image. Okay, so it basically inverts the layer mask instead of having to invert it after you've applied it. So let's zoom back in, and now we're going to be painting with our brush tool. Okay, so hit the B keys, the shortcut, and you want to make sure you have a nice soft brush as before. So hardness at 0. Okay, and this time we're going to paint right on the inside of the building, but we're going to be painting in the opposite color of our mask. So if you need to flip your chips, hit the X key, we'll switch it. So since it's a black layer mask, we need to be painting with white. We'll come in here painting with white. Now we want to set our opacity at like 20 or 30% because we want to build this effect up. So if your opacity is at 100, if you hit the 2 or 3 or 4, you can see that you can get different opacities. So we're going to start off by hitting the 2 key to give us that 20%, and we'll just come in and we'll just apply this effect right to the halo. Now since we didn't apply any effect onto the building itself, we're only affecting just that haloed edge. We're going to paint in the cupola area that we hit. We're going to come on this side and just bring that effect in until we get rid of that little white line. That white line is caused by sharpening, okay, or contrast. When you sharpen something, basically you're making the light points lighter and the dark points darker. And when it does that, it creates that white line or that halo. Okay? So there we go. We're looking pretty good there. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay, let's move down to these trees area. Remember, we're just going to be painting right at that tree. It's that transitional area where the sharpening or the contrast buildup creates a halo. Okay, so we're just going to paint in here. And then if we get too much on the top side, it's not a problem. What we do is hit the X key and we come back in and just cut away any of that effect. So we're going to hit the X and flip our chips back to white and paint into this tree area. Because again, you know, whenever you see something that's white, your eyes go right to it because the highlights project. Okay? So we could spend all day here. So we're going to combine everything to a new layer. That's Control Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E on the Mac. We'll grab our healing brush, okay, and we'll come over here and we'll just fix this sensor spot where we were. We're going to go to normal. We were on dark in there, okay, and there, that's gone. We just hit File, Save, and you're good to go. I'm going to cancel that out. I'm going to delete this file out. And I think that you have a good idea what you need to do. I want to thank you for taking time to visit today. Until next time, we'll see you soon.